Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, we're going to do a quick news update. Two things actually, one of which we kind of knew was coming. The second one is pretty sexy and something which I've been talking about for, I don't know what, 2 years. So pretty excited about that. Let's just see if we get a little bit of video luck. Started to do Ultra Nightmare on the free-to-play now. And damn, that's a terrible start. Epic Book, not too bad. Double Epic Book. Epic Book nerf. Yeah, so they just dropped some news yesterday. Basically, Shadowkin Faction Wars is opening up. Yeah, we knew it was coming. It was something which has been on the cards now for a few months. They told us with good warning, and it looks like it's coming in the next patch, which is due to be probably next week. Normally, we have it kind of towards the middle of the month, and it normally drops around the same time that there's a new fragment event or new fusion event kind of pushed out to the community, and that will generally be next week. So what's going to come in this patch? We've not been given any kind of juicy info about other stuff, but there was an announcement dropped yesterday in the content creator chats. We are planning to open the Shadowkin crypts after the upcoming updates, which I think is going to be next week. As I say, we've had no other information about that update yet. Therefore, really soon. Now, Playroom have had a load of grief about saying soon in the past, because soon was Hydra Clan Boss, soon was the Void Tower, and it never turned up for a long, long time. So if they're using those words, it means it's coming, probably in the next week. They also say here, as discussed before, new milestone rewards will be added if you complete Shadowkin. So imagine my main account that hasn't yet... imagine my main account, which is already got Lydia. I will get the chance to earn a couple more rewards for beating up Shadowkin. But on my free-to-play here, which has not got Lydia and has still got a long way to go, Lydia will remain the last thing that you can get, but there'll be a couple of other rewards added in. So if you are really close to getting Lydia, I would say go ahead and get the job done in the next couple of days, or you're going to have to do a bit more work. I know some people are really pissed off about this. I don't really mind that Lydia remains the last thing. It makes kind of sense for the game. It doesn't make sense in the real short term, but for the game, it makes more sense that there's a really cool champion at the end of Faction Wars. And I hope they do continue to add other factions into the game, because it's actually a really cool thing that they do, that they've got these different kind of faction mechanics and stuff. So that's going to be the way it changes. Something else that they're updating in this change, I guess maybe I could take some blame and other creators and other people that give advice on the game. But when you pull a champion for the first time in something like a champion chase event, you get a ton of points. Yeah, you get like 650 points for a void legendary, 500 points for a normal legendary. So I always advise people, if you've got a champion sitting there waiting to go, hold on to them until a champion chase event turns up. With Lydia, they're going to make her automatically come into your account, either onto your roster or your mailbox, which means that there won't be a chance to get those extra juicy points for a champion chase. It's a slight cheeky one, honestly, because there's no reason for them to do this other than the fact that they've realized people are getting points in shard events, which doesn't relate to pulling shards. And you're like, you don't need to do that. It's a very slimy, kind of shady way to do it, honestly, in my opinion. But what does it mean? Well, if you're not going to get Lydia in the next few days, and you have to wait until you kind of work your way through the Shadowkin faction now, just be thoughtful. You decide when you get Lydia. Yeah, so make sure that it lands on a day where you're going to get some sort of juicy prize points, either a clan v clan tournament or a champion chase. Otherwise, you're just getting her for nothing. But she is an awesome champion. She is well worth striving to get. So that is Faction Wars. The other thing which is happening, you'll see it as a slight nerf for today, but actually it's just the way the game's gone. There's now an even number of factions, which means, I think, in fact, we're going to be on 14. And basically every day we get a different Faction Wars. So what's going to happen from the Shadowkin release is that there will be 2 individual factions each day. We won't get that kind of nice feeling where it's like, wow, did a ton of glyphs today. There's 3 open. Or maybe for other people, it's like, damn, I need to run a load more keys today, depending on how you're feeling about time in the game. But anyway, it will just be 2 a day. 2 a day, every day, and it will just be uniform, rotating round. And then if we do get another faction added into the game, we'll then be back to 3 on the odd day as that drops in. So that's the Faction Wars thing. Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk about was actually an announcement that was dropped around Christmas, and it kind of went to the wayside a little bit because it was a little bit lost in the post. There was this big post that was pulled in around Christmas time. It was actually dropped on the 24th. Yeah, 24th of December. And they kind of talked about the different things that have been added into the game and how it's been a great year and all that type of stuff. And then they talked about some things which are going to come next year. So they talk about things which are coming next year. And after they kind of go on and have talked about all the cool stuff for this year. And they say, we want PvP to be a big part of the game. Okay. Well, they need to change stuff. I've done a video about that this morning. And then they say here, throughout the year, you will be receiving even more options to make your existing and new champions tougher, smarter, and even cuter. And I was kind of looking through this and actually talking to some of my mods on Discord a couple of days ago. And they were like, right, so tougher probably feels like that kind of big two-headed boss thing that we saw a while ago in a video, which was meant to be the enhancement for champions. Maybe something to do with Void Tower, like another way of enhancing champs, potentially. Maybe it's like augmentations, that type of thing. But it's interesting. Smarter, does that mean that there's going to be some sort of content this year where we can actually gain books? What do you think? 2022, is it the year of the book? We will see. But then this is the one that I wanted to talk about. So cuter. And what does this mean? What does even cuter mean when it comes to Raid Shadow Legends? I mean, Raid is built on great visuals. Yeah, we know that. Raid is, it dominates the Gotcha Collection type of genre. And there's been tons which have tried to compete because it looks awesome. Yeah, it looks way better than any competition out there. And every time I see one of these videos, or even do one myself, where it's like, is this the new Raid killer? Is this the game that's going to compete with Raid? The comments below generally say, but it looks trash. That's pretty much it. Because the player base loved the visuals of Raid. And considering this was a mobile game, you know, for the most part, they do a great job of the way it looks. The animations are slick. All of the champions come out, they've got like their individuality. And, you know, it does well. But cuter to me sounds like they're going to be adding skins to the game. I've spoken about this 100 times. Player, if you want to give a little bit of commission my way, look, I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say no to that. But yeah, I've spoken about this a lot of times, saying that, in fact, I wish they didn't do the champion empowerment thing. I wish it was just a skin drop. So instead of going a +2, +3, +4, whatever, I wish they'd actually done new skins to legendary champions. And I feel like that would still drive people to want dupes, maybe more so in some instances. But it looks like they're going to go down the route of visuals, which is a cool thing. All games do this that make a ton of money, by the way. Yeah, and actually, for some of them, that's the only way they make a ton of money. Now, I don't know how they're going to contend with champions that already are reskins. Like, you've got Kymar here looking all sexy with his lightning. And then you've got Tyrant here looking all sexy with his fire. But sometimes you might realize they're very similar. Yeah, you've got other ones like it as well. I mean, there's a ton in the game. You know, you've got old Biggin here. Wishes he could find his long-lost brother. Little does he know, he fell into the fire. So there's plenty in the game that have already got a reskin. Does that mean that they're just going to reskin a reskin? I guess they will. But yeah, potentially skins coming in 2022. I guess comment below, which champions would you absolutely go all in for a skin for? Yeah, you know, who would you want a reskin of? I think it's absolutely the right direction. If Raid want to make a bucket load of money out of people that have got money to spare without affecting the game. And this is what, you know, if you think about Raid trying to be into PvP for 2022, they have to try and find a way to level the playing field of the game. And they're not doing that very well at the moment. They're in fact making this kind of seesaw approach of, you know, the +4s in the game dominate anyone that doesn't have a +4. It's actually silly. So they've already pushed it to a level which is very difficult to make PvP their thing this year. But skins would have been the absolute way to go in terms of making a boatload of money while still maintaining a game balance. So there you go, guys. 2 big updates, or 1 update and 1 thing in the pipeline. Let me know what you think. I've been Hell Hades. I will see you later.